Imagine this for a second. Everything you see, everything you love, the people you know, the sky above, the earth beneath your feet, even the light from distant stars, all of it trapped. Not in some prison with walls and bars, but inside something far more terrifying, a cosmic monster called a black hole. Now here's the unsettling question. What if I told you we might already be living inside one? For most of us, black holes are these scary space phenomena far away, invisible giants devouring stars at the center of galaxies. They're out there, something astronomers point telescopes at. But some of the brightest minds in physics have asked, what if the entire universe we live in is itself the inside of a black hole? Sounds insane, right? Like science fiction. But the deeper you go into modern physics, the scarier it gets. Because the numbers, the math, the very shape of space-time all hint that this terrifying idea may actually be possible. Think about it. A black hole is created when a massive star collapses under its own gravity. The core gets squeezed tighter and tighter until it forms a singularity, a point of infinite density where even the laws of physics break down. Around it is the event horizon, a one-way boundary where nothing, not even light, can escape. Now here's where it gets chilling. To an outside observer, everything falling into a black hole looks like it slows down, stretched in time, frozen at the edge. But to the person falling inside, they don't notice anything unusual at first. They just keep moving forward, deeper into this strange new universe hidden behind the horizon. That's exactly the kind of place our universe looks like. Expanding, strange, with physics that even Einstein couldn't fully wrap his head around. Some physicists argue that the Big Bang, the birth of our universe, could actually have been the moment another universe's star collapsed into a black hole. In other words, the Big Bang wasn't the start of everything. It was simply the beginning of what happens inside a black hole. That means right now, you and I might not be living in some grand open infinite cosmos. We could be trapped inside a cosmic sphere cut off from the outside forever. Think about how terrifying that is. We always look at the night sky and say, it's infinite. But if this theory is correct, we're not free at all. We're prisoners, and we didn't even know it. But wait, it gets darker. Because if we are inside a black hole, it means there's no way out, no escape route, no edge of the universe to cross. We're sealed inside a prison of space-time itself, created by a singularity we can never touch. And here's the haunting part. We'd never be able to tell. Why this question haunts scientists? The idea that we might live inside a black hole isn't just a wild YouTube conspiracy. It's a question that has bothered scientists for decades. Physicist Nikodem Poplavsky suggested that every black hole might give birth to a new universe on the inside. Our universe could be the baby of a much bigger parent universe. Einstein's general relativity doesn't forbid this. In fact, mathematically, the equations of relativity almost seem to hint at it. Hawking himself once speculated that black holes aren't just cosmic trash compactors. They might actually be gateways to new realities. So if scientists are taking this seriously, maybe we should too. If this is true, then we need to rethink everything. The stars we see might not be stars in some grand infinite expanse, but lights flickering inside the curved walls of a black hole universe. The expansion of the universe might simply be the inside stretching as we fall deeper into the singularity. And the end of time might not be billions of years away, but whenever this black hole finishes what it started. So the question isn't just, are we living inside a black hole? The real question is, how long do we have before it swallows us completely? Because if the entire universe is inside a black hole, then the terrifying truth is we're already trapped, and there's no escape.
Before we even try to answer the haunting question, whether we're already living inside a black hole, we need to understand what these cosmic monsters really are. Because black holes aren't just big vacuum cleaners in space. They're far stranger, far scarier, and far more mysterious than most people realize. At its core, a black hole is simple to describe. It's a region of space where gravity is so intense that nothing can escape, not even light. But here's the twist. A black hole isn't a thing. It's not made of matter in the usual sense. It's a region of warped space-time. Imagine space as a stretched rubber sheet. Place a bowling ball on it, and the sheet curves. That's how gravity works. Now imagine pressing something infinitely heavy on that sheet. It would tear through, creating a hole with no bottom. That's what a black hole is. A hole not in matter, but in reality itself. Black holes are born from death. When a massive star runs out of fuel, it collapses under its own gravity. Most stars end quietly as white dwarfs or neutron stars, but the truly gigantic ones, they collapse into something infinitely dense, a singularity. That singularity is like the ultimate paradox. All the star's mass crushed into an infinitely small point. Physics breaks down. Space and time, as we know them, stop making sense. Around this singularity forms the event horizon, the point of no return. Anything crossing it is gone forever, invisible to the outside universe. And here's the chilling detail. From the outside, time appears to stop at the event horizon. A spaceship falling into a black hole would seem frozen in place, but from the inside, time flows normally, at least at first. This creates a terrifying possibility. From our perspective, inside the universe, everything feels normal. Time flows, stars shine, life goes on. But what if this entire reality is simply the inside view of a black hole? Black holes are classified into several categories, each one scarier than the last. Stellar mass black holes, formed from collapsing stars, typically a few times heavier than the sun, scattered across galaxies like silent predators. Intermediate black holes, rare, mysterious, thousands of times heavier than the sun, could lurk undetected in the darkness of space. Supermassive black holes, monsters millions or billions of times heavier than the sun, found at the centers of most galaxies, including our Milky Way. The Milky Way's central black hole, Sagittarius A star, is 4 billion solar masses. Primordial black holes, hypothetical black holes formed right after the Big Bang, could be microscopic or massive. Some scientists think they might even make up dark matter. Now here's the wild thought. If universes can form inside black holes, which kind of black hole are we inside of? A stellar one? A supermassive one? Or something even stranger? Black holes aren't just science fiction. They're predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity. In 1915, Einstein described gravity not as a force, but as the warping of space-time. His equations predicted the possibility of singularities, regions where the math goes to infinity. At first, even Einstein thought this was nonsense. But over time, astronomers found real evidence: stars orbiting invisible objects, strange gravitational effects. Eventually, photos of black hole shadows themselves. And here's where it gets spooky. Einstein's equations also suggest that once you pass the event horizon, you can't escape. but they don't forbid what's on the other side. Some interpretations say the inside of a black hole could look like another expanding universe. So what does it actually look like inside a black hole? Well, nobody knows for sure, but theories paint chilling possibilities. Infinite stretching, space-time curves so strongly that directions lose meaning. You're pulled towards the singularity with no chance of turning back. Cosmic inflation. Some physicists argue that the inside of a black hole undergoes its own Big Bang, creating a whole universe, perhaps ours. Different laws of physics. Time and space could swap roles. What we call space outside may become time inside. That last one is especially terrifying. Imagine walking forward in space, but realizing you're actually moving forward in time, towards a singularity that is your future. You can't turn around. You can't stop. That's what living in a black hole would feel like. One of the strongest supporters of the universe inside a black hole theory is physicist Nikodem Poplavsky. According to him, every black hole might be a bridge to another universe. When matter falls into a black hole, it doesn't just vanish. Instead, it gets funneled through a wormhole, a so-called Einstein-Rosen bridge, into a new expanding space-time on the other side. If that's true, then our universe's Big Bang could have been the result of a black hole collapse in some parent universe, which means our universe is just one of countless offspring universes, each born from another. Think about how humbling that is. We're not at the top of the cosmic hierarchy. We might be living inside the leftovers of someone else's collapse. Here's the terrifying part. If this theory is right, then the reason we can't see beyond the edge of our universe isn't because it's infinite. It's because the event horizon of our black hole keeps us trapped.
The cosmic speed limit of light? That's because we can't escape the black hole's grip. The expansion of the universe? That could be space-time stretching as we fall deeper into the black hole. The cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. It might just be the echo of the collapse that formed us. So when astronomers say we can't see beyond the observable universe, maybe that's not a limitation of our telescopes. Maybe it's the event horizon itself. If all of this is true, then the scariest part isn't just that we're trapped, it's that we may never even know for sure. The historical quest for black holes. The question, are we already inside a black hole, may sound like modern science fiction, but its roots go far back, long before we had rockets, satellites, or space telescopes. The earliest seeds of the idea were planted in the 18th century, when British natural philosopher John Michell and French scientist Pierre-Simon Laplace speculated about dark stars. They proposed that if an object were dense enough, its gravity could be so strong that not even light could escape. The reasoning was simple. If escape velocity, the speed needed to break free from gravity, exceeded the speed of light, the star would become invisible. Of course, they didn't call it a black hole, but the concept was surprisingly close. Fast forward to 1915, Einstein published his general theory of relativity, transforming our understanding of gravity. Instead of thinking about gravity as a force pulling objects, Einstein described it as the warping of space-time itself. Massive objects bend the space around them, and this curvature guides how matter and light move. Soon after Einstein's work, German physicist Karl Schwarzschild found the first exact solution to Einstein's equations. His mathematics described a spherical region where gravity became infinite, a singularity, surrounded by a boundary called the event horizon. This was the birth of the black hole concept as we know it today. At first, Einstein himself was skeptical that such objects could exist in reality.
He thought they were just strange mathematical oddities. But throughout the 20th century, evidence kept piling up. Stars were observed orbiting invisible companions, neutron stars were discovered, and astrophysicists realized that supernova explosions could collapse into ultra-dense remnants. Black holes began shifting from theory to reality. By the late 20th century, most scientists accepted that black holes existed. But the deeper, more mind-bending question followed. Could our entire universe be the inside of one? NASA and the search for black holes. NASA entered the black hole story in the mid-20th century, when X-ray astronomy began. In 1964, scientists discovered a mysterious bright source in the constellation Cygnus, later identified as Cygnus X1. Careful measurements revealed that it wasn't just an ordinary star. It was a black hole, about 15 times the mass of the Sun, pulling matter from its companion star. This was one of the first solid pieces of evidence that black holes were real, not just theory. In the 1970s and 80s, NASA's growing fleet of space telescopes, like Uhuru, Chandra X-ray Observatory, and later Hubble, uncovered dozens of black hole candidates across our galaxy. These were stellar mass black holes, formed from collapsing stars. But the biggest surprise came when astronomers looked into the centers of galaxies. Using the Hubble Space Telescope, launched in 1990, scientists discovered that nearly every galaxy, including our Milky Way, houses a supermassive black hole at its core. These giants weigh millions to billions of solar masses. In our own galaxy, the central black hole is called Sagittarius A star, pronounced as A star. How do we know it's there? By tracking the orbits of stars near the galactic center. They move incredibly fast, whipping around an invisible object. Only a massive, compact black hole could explain their motion. This discovery was so significant that in 2020, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to scientists Reinhard Genzel and Andrea Ghez for mapping these orbits and proving Sagittarius A star exists. The Event Horizon Telescope, a first glimpse. For decades, black holes were confirmed only indirectly. We saw their effects, stars orbiting them, matter falling in, powerful jets of radiation shooting out, but never the black holes themselves. That changed in April 2019. An international collaboration called the Event Horizon Telescope, EHT, released the first ever direct image of a black hole, the supermassive monster at the heart of galaxy M87, about 55 million light-years away. The image showed a glowing ring of hot plasma surrounding a dark shadow, the black hole's event horizon. In 2022, the EHT team followed up with an even more dramatic announcement, the first picture of Sagittarius A, our own Milky Way's central black hole. This was groundbreaking. For the first time, humanity had seen the very edge of a black hole, the mysterious boundary between space-time as we know it and the unknown interior.
Why these discoveries matter to the "are we inside" question. The images of black holes, the proof of Sagittarius A star, and decades of NASA observations give us clues about their nature. They confirm that black holes are not just abstract equations. They exist, they bend space-time, and they trap everything, including light, inside their horizons. Here's where things get interesting. Some cosmologists argue that the observable universe behaves much like the interior of a black hole, an event horizon. Just like black holes have a boundary beyond which no information can escape, our universe has a cosmic horizon, a limit beyond which light has not had time to reach us since the Big Bang. Anything past that horizon is invisible to us. A singularity. Black holes are born from a collapse into a singularity. Our universe may have begun from a singularity too, the Big Bang.
expansion and warping of space. Inside a black hole, space itself is dragged inward. In our universe, space itself is expanding outward. In other words, black holes and universes share suspiciously similar traits. Some scientists propose that our Big Bang could actually have been the birth of a black hole in a higher dimensional space. If that's true, then everything we see, the stars, galaxies, even us, could all exist inside the horizon of a giant black hole. NASA's role in testing the theory. NASA isn't just passively observing black holes, it's actively probing the limits of physics to see if the black hole-universe connection holds weight. Missions like Chandra X-ray Observatory, studying black hole accretion disks and jets, Hubble Space Telescope, mapping galaxies and their central supermassive black holes, and James Webb Space Telescope, peering deeper into the early universe, closer to the Big Bang itself. Future projects like the LISA mission, Laser Interferometer Space Antenna, designed to detect gravitational waves in space, will give even more insight into black hole mergers and space-time. Every discovery feeds into the bigger question: are black holes just cosmic oddities, or do they hold the secret to why the universe exists the way it does? The Great Cosmic Illusion. Imagine standing under a clear American night sky. You're far away from the city lights, maybe in the deserts of Arizona or the mountains of Colorado. The Milky Way stretches above you, billions of stars glittering like diamonds on black velvet. It feels infinite, endless, eternal. But here's the shocking question. What if everything you see, every star, every galaxy, even time itself, is happening inside a black hole? It sounds insane, right? But some of the brightest physicists of our time have suggested exactly that. To understand how, let's rewind to the basics. A black hole is created when a massive star collapses under its own gravity. The core shrinks infinitely, forming a singularity, a point where physics, as we know it, simply breaks down. Around that singularity lies the event horizon, a boundary you cannot escape once you cross it. Light, matter, even information, all trapped. Now imagine scaling this idea up. What if the entire universe is the inside of such a horizon? That means we've already crossed the ultimate boundary long ago, and everything we experience is happening within a cosmic prison we call reality. The Big Bang and black holes, two sides of the same coin. Physicists have noticed something strange. The mathematics describing a black hole's formation looks eerily similar to the mathematics describing the Big Bang. A star collapses to singularity, to explosion of radiation, to trapped inside horizon. See the symmetry? Some scientists propose that the Big Bang itself might have been the birth of a black hole in another universe. In other words, our universe may be the inside of a black hole formed in another universe.
Think about that for a second. When a black hole forms in one universe, it may give birth to another universe inside. That newborn universe, ours, would see its own Big Bang, its own expansion, its own galaxies, all without knowing it's living within the belly of a cosmic beast. This idea has a name: the black hole cosmology hypothesis. The cosmic horizon. Here's where it gets wild. When astronomers look at the edge of the observable universe, about 46 billion light-years away, they see a boundary. Beyond it, we can't observe anything. Not because it's not there, but because light hasn't had time to reach us. This cosmic horizon behaves suspiciously, like a black hole's event horizon. Nothing beyond it can ever send information back to us. In other words, we're already trapped. To an observer outside, if such an observer exists,
our entire universe might appear as just another black hole, silently floating in a higher dimensional space. Meanwhile, we, inside, think our universe is infinite. It's like living inside a fishbowl. To the fish, the bowl is the whole world, but from outside, it's just a tiny glass sphere. The strange physics of living inside a black hole. If we're truly inside a black hole, what does that mean for us? Time is distorted. Near black holes, time slows down compared to the outside universe. Inside, time as we know it could be running at a different pace. What feels like billions of years to us might be just seconds outside. Space is curved. Black holes warp space so severely that straight lines curve and light bends. Our universe shows this on a grand scale. Galaxies aren't just floating randomly, space itself is curved around them. No escape. Just like in a black hole, we cannot leave the universe. Faster-than-light travel is impossible. Wormholes remain theoretical, and the cosmic horizon is a permanent cage. The heat death. Eventually, just like a black hole evaporates through Hawking radiation, our universe may also fade away. The energy within will disperse, and the black hole universe we live in could vanish. The American connection. Why this theory fascinates so many minds, especially in the West. Because America has always been fascinated with the frontiers of space and possibility. From NASA's Apollo missions to the upcoming Artemis program, Americans see themselves as explorers of the unknown. The idea that we might be living inside a black hole adds a whole new dimension. It's not just about going to Mars or sending probes to the edge of the solar system. It's about questioning reality itself. It challenges religion, philosophy, and science all at once. It makes us wonder, if the universe is a black hole, who or what created the parent universe? Are we an accident? Or is there some kind of cosmic design, where black holes are wombs for new universes? For a society that thrives on mystery, innovation, and thinking bigger, this idea hits hard. Could we prove it? Well, this is where things get tricky. How can you prove that your entire universe is the inside of a black hole? By definition, you can't step outside to check.
But scientists are trying. Hawking radiation analogs, lab experiments create many black hole-like conditions using sound waves and lasers, trying to simulate horizons. Cosmic microwave background, CMB, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang might hold patterns, clues that match black hole mathematics. Information paradox. If information isn't lost in black holes, maybe our universe is storing and processing data in a similar way. The problem? Every test we run happens inside the system. It's like trying to see your own face without a mirror. What if it's true? If this theory is correct, then every black hole in our universe may be giving birth to new universes inside. Our universe itself could be one of countless others, each nested inside black holes of higher and higher dimensions. Reality is fractal, an infinite chain of universes within universes, each unaware of the one outside. It means our search for the beginning might never end, because there was no beginning, just an eternal cycle of universes creating more universes. For humanity, it raises an even deeper question. What is our role in this grand cosmic cycle? The existential shiver. Let's pause. Take a deep breath. Imagine for a moment that it's true. Everything you love, your memories, your history, the Earth, the sun, the stars, all floating inside a cosmic event horizon. We are prisoners in a black hole and will never escape.
But here's the twist. Maybe that's not bad. Maybe it's the only way universes can exist. Maybe black holes are the engines of creation, not destruction. Instead of cosmic tombs, they might be cosmic wombs. So, are we already living inside a black hole? Science hasn't proven it yet, but the math, the physics, and the mysteries of the universe suggest it's possible. And if it's true, then every night when you look at the stars, you're not just seeing the universe, you're seeing the inside of a giant black hole, and you are part of its story. The scariest part? We may never know for sure. The universe doesn't owe us answers. It only gives us questions. But maybe that's the real adventure. Imagine for a moment that everything you've ever known, our planet, our solar system, even the farthest galaxies we can see, might actually exist inside a black hole. Sounds impossible? Maybe. But some of the most brilliant physicists alive are seriously considering it. And if they're right, this would change our entire understanding of reality. The event horizon, our universe's boundary. Every black hole has an event horizon, a point of no return. Once you cross it, light itself cannot escape. If our universe is the inside of a massive black hole, then the cosmic horizon, the farthest distance we can see in space, might actually be that very boundary. To us, it looks like the universe is expanding faster and faster, galaxies rushing away. But what if that's simply because we're trapped inside a growing black hole, and what we call dark energy is really the black hole's geometry shaping our perception? The Big Bang equals a black hole birth? Here's a radical thought. The Big Bang may not have been the true beginning of everything. Instead, it could have been the moment a massive star collapsed in some larger universe, forming a black hole. From the outside, it looks like a collapse. From the inside, it looks like an explosion, space and time stretching rapidly. To us, that's the Big Bang. So, in a sense, we might all be living inside the baby universe, born from a black hole in another cosmos. Why don't we notice? If we are inside a black hole, shouldn't we see signs of it? Strangely, the answer might be yes, and we already have. Cosmic microwave background. This faint glow across the sky might be the echo of our universe's black hole birth. Cosmic expansion, the way galaxies move away from us, could be exactly how space behaves inside a black hole. Information paradox. Physicists struggle to explain what happens to information in black holes. But if black holes give birth to new universes, the information isn't lost, it just moves inside.
Are we the simulation within a black hole? Some scientists take this one step further. If reality inside a black hole has its own laws of physics, then our universe might not just be inside something, it could be a simulation-like structure generated by black hole physics. Think of it like this. A black hole outside gives birth to a bubble universe. Inside, that bubble develops its own physics. We, the inhabitants, can never peek outside. It's like living inside a cosmic computer program without knowing it. Philosophical implications. If we are living inside a black hole, then the outside universe could be infinitely larger than ours. Our lives, stars, and galaxies are just one chapter in a much bigger cosmic story. Time itself might flow differently outside. What feels like billions of years to us could be mere seconds out there. This flips religion, philosophy, and science upside down. Are we creations of another universe's collapse? Are there multiple layers of universes inside countless black holes? So, are we living in a black hole? The truth is, we don't know. But the math checks out. The observations don't rule it out, and the possibility is so mind-bending that scientists keep exploring it. At the very least, it forces us to rethink what universe even means. Maybe what we call the universe is just a tiny bubble in an infinite sea of black holes in universes beyond. And maybe, just maybe, someday we'll find out that the greatest cosmic mystery isn't what's out there, it's what we're already inside. You look up at the night sky and see thousands of stars. But what if those pinpoints of light are not distant suns, but reflections of a black hole's distorted lensing effect? In other words, the universe we see could be a projection, not real distances, but bent pathways of light, folded around the horizon of the black hole that contains us. Think of it like being inside a giant mirror maze. You see lights everywhere, but you're never sure which is real and which is just a reflection. Would we ever know if the stars are out there or just echoes of something unreachable? The Big Bang is science's best story of how it all began. But what if it wasn't the beginning at all? Some physicists suggest that what we call the Big Bang could have been the birth of our black hole. A massive star or universe collapsing in another dimension might have created the black hole that became our home. So the bang wasn't the start of everything, it was just the instant we were sealed inside. That flips the entire origin story of the universe on its head. Instead of asking what came before the Big Bang, the scarier question might be, what star or universe died to give birth to us? This is the chilling one. If we're inside a black hole, then by definition, nothing can escape. Not even light. That would mean we're permanently sealed. No future technology, no warp drive, no wormhole could break us free. It would mean every dream of humanity, colonizing other galaxies, meeting aliens, reaching the edge of the universe, was always impossible. Because the edge isn't stars or galaxies, it's a wall we can never see, an invisible prison. It's not space exploration, it's a cage. Here's a strange thought. Black holes consume everything, crushing matter into something unknown. But what if in that process, they accidentally create the right conditions for life? Think of it. The heat, the density, the distortion of time, all might give rise to universes within universes. That means life could be the product of black holes. We exist not in spite of them, but because of them.
What if black holes aren't the universe's monsters, but its wombs? The universe is expanding, galaxies racing away from each other faster and faster. Scientists call this cosmic acceleration. But what if it's not acceleration at all? What if it's the effect of us drifting closer to the event horizon of our cosmic black hole? Imagine it like this. The closer you get to the edge, the faster everything stretches apart. That's exactly what we see happening. If true, then one day the universe as we know it won't just fade. It will rip apart, piece by piece, as we hit the final horizon. This one is purely chilling. When something crosses a black hole's event horizon, from the outside it seems frozen in time, stretched into eternity. But inside, the object keeps moving, unaware of how it looks from outside. So here's the eerie question. What if we already crossed the horizon long ago? What if, from the outside, our universe looks like it froze billions of years ago, but inside we still live, breathe, and tell stories? We might already be ghosts of physics, drifting in a timeline that only makes sense to us. To someone outside, we might have ended already. Black holes used to be monsters at the edge of galaxies. Now they're creeping into our definition of home. And if even one of these what-ifs is true, then every law of physics, every hope of exploration, and every story of human destiny has to be rewritten. Because we wouldn't just be studying black holes. We are the black hole. Let's imagine this scenario. A black hole has an event horizon, a boundary beyond which nothing escapes. If our universe is the inside of a black hole, then everything we see, the billions of galaxies, the cosmic web of matter and dark matter, even the expansion of space exists within a cosmic boundary. To us, the universe feels infinite, but in truth, it would be a finite bubble sealed off by forces we cannot cross. This realization changes how we see human existence. We are not wanderers in an endless void. We are citizens of a cosmic cage. Now, does this limit the meaning of our lives? Or does it actually enhance it? If boundaries exist, perhaps our task is not to escape them, but to understand them. Just as a fish is born into the sea and never questions the ocean, maybe we live inside the black hole without ever sensing the horizon. The meaning of life, then, may not come from breaking free of cosmic walls, but from making sense of the reality we are given. If we accept that we are living inside a black hole, then existence itself becomes miraculous. Think about it. Black holes are known for destruction, yet here we are, conscious beings, having conversations about purpose. Instead of vanishing into singularity, life has blossomed. That means human existence is not an accident, it is a defiance. Against overwhelming gravity, entropy, and cosmic collapse, life has carved out a fragile foothold. In such a scenario, meaning is not given to us from the outside. It emerges from our survival, our resilience, and our curiosity. The black hole does not erase our significance, it magnifies it. Because if consciousness can arise inside such extreme conditions, then maybe the universe itself was destined to awaken and know itself through us. There's another layer to this: quantum physics. Some interpretations suggest that observation itself shapes reality. If our universe exists inside a black hole, then who or what observes it? This is where humanity enters the picture. We are not passive beings trapped inside cosmic machinery. By observation, thinking, and asking questions, we may actually participate in shaping reality. This transforms the meaning of existence. Life is not just about survival, pleasure, or progress. It is about awareness. Perhaps the universe, this black hole universe, is incomplete without conscious observers. We give it form. We give it story. Without us, the black hole is just physics. With us, it becomes experience. Inside a black hole, time behaves strangely. Close to the event horizon, time slows relative to outside observers. If our entire universe is inside one, then the way we perceive time may be completely distorted. But what does this mean for us? It suggests that our sense of time, memory, and history is not universal, it is local. Life becomes meaningful not because it lasts forever, but because it is lived in moments. Imagine this: outside observers might see our universe collapse in a fraction of a second, but to us inside, billions of years unfold. That means human history, the rise of civilizations, the works of art, the search for love, could be a fleeting spark in cosmic time. Yet to us, it is everything. So meaning does not come from how long life lasts in the cosmic sense, it comes from the depth of how it is lived. Another interpretation is that a black hole could act like a mirror. Everything that falls in might be preserved in some way, encoded, not destroyed. If that is true, then perhaps nothing is ever truly lost. Our lives, our thoughts, even our identities may leave imprints beyond what we can see. This has a powerful existential consequence. Maybe death is not the end. Just as information might never be destroyed in physics, maybe the essence of who we are is woven into the fabric of the universe.
In this sense, living inside a black hole gives our lives a dual meaning. First, we must live authentically, knowing our actions ripple outward. Second, we must understand that nothing is wasted. The universe remembers. If all of reality is inside a black hole, what purpose can humans claim? Let's break it down into possibilities. Explorers of limits. Our role may be to push against the boundaries of knowledge. Just as sailors once crossed oceans without knowing what lay ahead, we are cosmic explorers inside an invisible boundary. Creators of meaning. If the universe itself has no external meaning, then our role is to create it through stories, relationships, and acts of kindness. Guardians of awareness. Perhaps consciousness is the rarest thing in the cosmos. If so, our duty is to preserve and expand it. Bridges of connection. If black holes can give birth to new universes, maybe intelligence is the key to carrying knowledge forward, passing the flame of awareness into the next cosmic generation. Living inside a black hole forces us to confront the possibility that the universe is indifferent. The black hole doesn't care about our dreams or fears. Gravity crushes without mercy. But here is the paradox. Meaning often emerges most strongly in the face of indifference. When the cosmos does not hand us a script, we are free to write our own. If the black hole is silent, then our laughter, art, music, and compassion are the voices that fill the void. We may be tiny against the horizon, but significance is not about size, it is about depth. Let's step back. Humanity has always told stories to understand its place. From myths of gods to modern physics, we shape narratives. If we are indeed inside a black hole, then this is the greatest story of all. Once upon a time, a dying star collapsed. Instead of fading, it became the cradle of a new cosmos. Inside that cosmos, on a small planet orbiting a modest star, life emerged. And that life asked the very question we are asking now. What is the meaning of it all? The story itself becomes the answer. Meaning is not an external truth we uncover. It is the act of asking, of seeking, of refusing to stop wondering. You might ask, fine, this is fascinating, but what does it mean for my daily life? If we are inside a black hole, does it change how I live? Yes, it does, because it reframes existence. Value the moment. If time is distorted, then every second we live is infinitely precious. Seek understanding. Our curiosity is not a luxury, it is our core purpose. Build connections. In a universe that might otherwise feel cold, relationships are the warmth that makes life meaningful. Create lasting impact. If nothing is lost, then our actions echo. Be mindful of the legacy you create. So, what does it mean if we are living inside a black hole? It means that existence is fragile yet resilient, bounded yet infinite in depth. It means that meaning is not handed down from the stars, but written in our choices, our love, our creativity, and our search for truth. The black hole does not diminish us. It challenges us to become more, to rise above indifference, to see boundaries not as prisons, but as canvases for imagination. If life can bloom inside a black hole, then perhaps the greatest truth is this: meaning is not out there, waiting to be found. Meaning is created by us, right here inside the darkness. One of the oldest debates in human history is whether we truly have free will, the ability to choose our actions, or if everything is predetermined by forces beyond our control. Now, when we bring the concept of black holes into this discussion, things become even more fascinating and unsettling. What if the very laws of gravity and singularity, the ultimate rules of the cosmos, are shaping, guiding, and even predetermining our choices? Free will suggests that we have agency, the power to make independent decisions. You chose what to eat this morning, you chose whether to click on this video, and you chose what career path to follow. Determinism, on the other hand, argues that all events, including human decisions, are inevitable consequences of prior causes. Just like a ball rolling downhill follows the curve of the land, your choices are the product of genetics, environment, and physics. Now, what happens if the universe itself is inside a black hole? Would free will even exist there? Or would gravity dictate everything down to the smallest decision? Inside a black hole, gravity is absolute. Nothing escapes it, not even light. If our universe were inside such a structure, then gravity would not only control stars and galaxies, but also the microscopic particles inside your brain. Think about it. Your thoughts are nothing but electrical impulses carried by charged particles. And those particles move according to the fundamental forces, gravity being one of the strongest in shaping space-time. This raises a chilling possibility. If gravity curves space and time itself, then your thought process might just be following a predetermined curve like a train on a track. You might feel like you're making a choice, but maybe that choice was baked into the universe's geometry from the very beginning. In other words, gravity might not just move planets, it might also be moving you. At the heart of every black hole lies the singularity, a point of infinite density where the known laws of physics break down. Some scientists speculate that the singularity contains the initial blueprint of everything that happens within the black hole's universe. If that's true, then every action, every choice, and every outcome in our world could have been seeded in that singularity from the very start. That means when you decided to become a doctor, an engineer, or an artist, maybe that wasn't a decision at all. Maybe it was an unfolding script written by the singularity billions of years ago. And if our universe began inside a singularity, then it might have been locked into a cosmic destiny before time even began. Now, before you lose all hope, let's consider quantum mechanics. Unlike classical physics, quantum rules introduce uncertainty. A particle's position and momentum can't be perfectly known. Some argue this randomness could open the door for free will.
Here's the twist. Inside a black hole, quantum mechanics and gravity collide. Instead of freeing us, this randomness may be just another constraint. Your brain might simply be reacting to probabilistic outcomes, not true independent choices. So are you free because quantum mechanics introduces chance, or are you just rolling dice you didn't choose to roll? Einstein's theory of relativity gives us the concept of the block universe. In this model, past, present, and future already coexist. Time doesn't flow, it just is. If that's true, then your future choices already exist, waiting to unfold. Imagine your life as a movie reel. You feel like you're deciding what happens in the next scene, but the reel is already printed, you're just watching it frame by frame. And if black holes really warp time as scientists believe, then maybe our sense of choice is simply the brain's way of experiencing a script that has already been written. So where does this leave us? If gravity and singularity truly dictate the structure of space-time,
then our choices may not be choices at all. But here's the paradox. Even if the universe is predetermined, we experience choice subjectively. You still feel like you're deciding what to eat, who to love, and what path to follow. And maybe that experience of choice is what really matters, not whether it's real or illusory. In other words, free will might not be about escaping determinism, but about how we live inside it. Think about this. If you're told that all your choices are predetermined, would you stop making them? Probably not. Because life doesn't happen at the level of singularities, it happens at the level of human experience. Whether or not your decision is pre-written in cosmic geometry, it still feels real. And that feeling drives innovation, love, art, and survival. Maybe the universe is like a video game with fixed rules and programmed outcomes. But within those rules, the player, you, still has the illusion of freedom. And perhaps that illusion is enough. So, are we free? Or are we puppets dancing on gravity's strings? Maybe the truth is both. Our choices are framed by the cosmos, but within that frame, we paint our own picture. And if we really are inside a black hole, then perhaps free will is less about changing the script and more about playing your role with meaning, even if the stage, the spotlight, and the ending were set long before the curtain rose. For centuries, humanity has wrestled with a single haunting question: what is real? From the philosophers of ancient Greece to the physicists of the modern era, the debate about the nature of existence has never truly been settled. Today, advances in physics, cosmology, and even computer science have pushed this question into new territory. If our universe behaves like a simulation, or even is a simulation, what does that mean for the authenticity of our reality? Is our world genuine, or is it just a sophisticated illusion? Let's break this puzzle into layers and examine it carefully. The simulation hypothesis, popularized by philosopher Nick Bostrom in the early 2000s, suggests that if any civilization becomes advanced enough to simulate conscious beings, then it's overwhelmingly likely we are in such a simulation. The reasoning is simple. If advanced civilizations create countless simulated universes, the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber the single base reality. Statistically, that makes it more likely that we exist in one of those simulations rather than in the original physical universe. Interestingly, the concept isn't new. Philosophers like Plato argued centuries ago in his Allegory of the Cave that humans might only perceive shadows of the true reality, never touching the actual source. Hindu philosophy speaks of Maya, the cosmic illusion that hides ultimate truth. Even René Descartes questioned whether an evil demon could be deceiving us about everything we see and feel. In modern times, computer science and quantum physics have resurrected these old ideas with fresh urgency. At the heart of the simulation question is physics itself. Many physicists note that our universe operates according to strict mathematical laws, almost like a computer program. Pixelated universe. Some theories suggest space and time may not be infinitely divisible, but could be made of discrete chunks, much like pixels on a screen or data in a computer. If that's true, this would resemble the resolution limits of a simulation. The speed of light as a speed limit. In video games, there's always a frame rate and a maximum speed at which data can be processed. Could the speed of light be the universe's frame rate, a built-in rule of computation? Quantum mechanics and the observer effect. At the subatomic level, particles exist in probabilities until they are observed. It's as if the program waits until a conscious observer interacts before rendering the outcome, just like how a video game only renders parts of the world where the player is looking. These eerie similarities between computational systems and the workings of physics raise an unsettling question. Are we discovering the laws of nature, or are we uncovering the rules of a cosmic software? One might argue that even if the universe is simulated, it doesn't mean it's fake. Think about it. If you stub your toe, it hurts. If you eat, you feel full. If you love, you experience joy and heartbreak. These emotions and sensations are undeniably real to us. Reality, in essence, is about experience. If the simulation is perfect, indistinguishable from a base reality, then our lives are as meaningful as they would be outside the simulation. A simulated fire still burns. A simulated fall still hurts. The illusion, if it is one, becomes our reality. This is similar to how we treat dreams. Inside a dream, everything feels real: fear, happiness, danger. Only upon waking do we question its authenticity. If we never wake up from the simulation of the universe, then this simulated reality is our reality. The idea of a simulation raises profound existential and ethical questions. Purpose. If our universe is programmed, then who or what created it? A godlike programmer? An advanced civilization? Are we part of an experiment, a piece of art, or a game? Free will. If reality is simulated, are our choices genuine, or are they pre-coded responses in the system? Do we truly control our destinies, or do we only think we do? Layers of reality. Could there be multiple levels of simulation? Just as we create video games inside our world, could our programmed minds someday create simulated beings of our own, who then question their own reality? This leads to an infinite regression, where realities exist inside realities, like Russian nesting dolls. Perhaps the most pressing concern is, does this change anything about how we live? If the universe is simulated, it doesn't make love, kindness, or suffering less real. Our relationships, dreams, and struggles carry meaning because they matter to us within the boundaries of our perceived world. Even if we are codes running in a vast computer, the experiences we feel are authentic. Moreover, the possibility of a simulation could inspire humility. Just as characters in a novel cannot step outside their story, we may never fully access the base reality. This recognition might push us to live more thoughtfully, to cherish the richness of the illusion, and to seek meaning within it rather than beyond it. So, are we real, or are we puppets dancing on gravity's strings? Maybe the truth is both. Our choices are framed by the cosmos, but within that frame, we paint our own picture. And if we really are inside a black hole, then perhaps free will is less about changing the script and more about playing your role with meaning, even if the stage, the spotlight, and the ending were set long before the curtain rose. For centuries, humanity has wrestled with a single haunting question: what is real? From the philosophers of ancient Greece to the physicists of the modern era, the debate about the nature of existence has never truly been settled. Today, advances in physics, cosmology, and even computer science have pushed this question into new territory. If our universe behaves like a simulation, or even is a simulation, what does that mean for the authenticity of our reality? Is our world genuine, or is it just a sophisticated illusion? Let's break this puzzle into layers and examine it carefully. The simulation hypothesis, popularized by philosopher Nick Bostrom in the early 2000s, suggests that if any civilization becomes advanced enough to simulate conscious beings, then it's overwhelmingly likely we are in such a simulation. The reasoning is simple. If advanced civilizations create countless simulated universes, the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber the single base reality. Statistically, that makes it more likely that we exist in one of those simulations rather than in the original physical universe. Interestingly, the concept isn't new. Philosophers like Plato argued centuries ago in his Allegory of the Cave that humans might only perceive shadows of the true reality,
never touching the actual source. Hindu philosophy speaks of Maya, the cosmic illusion that hides ultimate truth. Even René Descartes questioned whether an evil demon could be deceiving us about everything we see and feel.
In modern times, computer science and quantum physics have resurrected these old ideas with fresh urgency. At the heart of the simulation question is physics itself. Many physicists note that our universe operates according to strict mathematical laws, almost like a computer program. Pixelated universe. Some theories suggest space and time may not be infinitely divisible, but could be made of discrete chunks, much like pixels on a screen or data in a computer. If true, this would resemble the resolution limits of a simulation. The speed of light as a speed limit. In computer games, there's always a frame rate and a maximum speed at which data can be processed. Could the speed of light be the universe's frame rate, a built-in rule of computation? Quantum mechanics and the observer effect. At the subatomic level, particles exist in probabilities until they are observed. It's as if the program waits until a conscious observer interacts before rendering the outcome, just like how a video game only renders parts of the world where the player is looking. These eerie similarities between computational systems and the workings of physics raise an unsettling question. Are we discovering the laws of nature, or are we uncovering the rules of a cosmic software? One might argue that even if the universe is simulated, it doesn't mean it's fake. Think about it. If you stub your toe, it hurts. If you eat, you feel full. If you love, you experience joy and heartbreak. These emotions and sensations are undeniably real to us. Reality, in essence, is about experience. If the simulation is perfect, indistinguishable from a base reality, then our lives are as meaningful as they would be outside the simulation. A simulated fire still burns. A simulated fall still hurts. The illusion, if it is one, becomes our truth. This is similar to how we treat dreams. Inside a dream, everything feels real. Fear, happiness, danger. Only upon waking do we question its authenticity. If we never wake up from the simulation of the universe, then this simulated reality is our reality. The idea of a simulation raises profound existential and ethical questions. Purpose. If our universe is programmed, then who or what created it? A godlike programmer? An advanced civilization? Are we part of an experiment, a piece of art, or a game? Free will. If reality is simulated, are our choices genuine, or are they pre-coded responses in the system? Do we truly control our destinies, or do we only think we do? Layers of reality. Could there be multiple levels of simulation? Just as we create video games inside our world, could our programmed minds someday create simulated beings of our own, who then question their own reality? This leads to an infinite regression, where realities exist inside realities, like Russian nesting dolls. Perhaps the most pressing concern is, does this change anything about how we live? If the universe is simulated, it doesn't make love, kindness, or suffering less real. Our relationships, dreams, and struggles carry meaning because they matter to us within the boundaries of our perceived world. Even if we are codes running in a vast computer, the experiences we feel are authentic. Moreover, the possibility of a simulation could inspire humility. Just as characters in a novel cannot step outside their story, we may never fully access the base reality. This recognition might push us to live more thoughtfully, to cherish the richness of the illusion, and to seek meaning within it rather than beyond it. So, is our reality real? The unsettling but fascinating answer might be both yes and no. Yes, it's real because it is the only existence we know,
and our experiences within it are genuine to us. No, it may not be the ultimate reality if our universe is simulated, coded, or layered upon another deeper truth. In the end, whether we live in a cosmic computer or a divine dream, the illusion becomes indistinguishable from reality. As the famous philosopher Morpheus in The Matrix said, "What is real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain." The question of whether we live in a simulation is less about uncovering fake versus real, and more about redefining what reality means. Perhaps reality isn't about the underlying structure, whether atoms or computer codes, but about the lived experience itself. If this is an illusion, it is the most magnificent illusion imaginable. A cosmic stage where galaxies whirl, black holes roar, humans love, and consciousness blooms. Whether we are simulations or not, the universe has given us something priceless, the ability to wonder about it.
If we truly lived inside a black hole, the interpretation wouldn't just be scientific, it would immediately open doors to religious and spiritual meaning. Humanity has always sought answers to the big why. Religions from Christianity to Hinduism, from Islam to Buddhism, offer frameworks to explain creation, existence, and destiny. For example, in Christian theology, the idea that the universe exists inside a black hole might be seen as part of God's design. The black hole could represent a cosmic womb, a place where life is protected and guided by divine intention. The mystery of the singularity might echo the biblical phrase, "God's ways are higher than our ways." Instead of threatening faith, it could strengthen it, reminding believers that science only uncovers the mechanics, while meaning rests with God. In Islam, the Quran often speaks of the heavens and the earth being folded or expanded. Some scholars might see black hole cosmology as aligning with these verses, especially where time, space, and reality are described as being within Allah's control. Living inside a black hole could be viewed not as a terrifying fate, but as part of Allah's grand plan, far beyond human comprehension. Hindu philosophy, with its cycles of creation and destruction, the dance of Shiva, finds a natural resonance with black hole physics. The collapse of stars into black holes could mirror the constant cosmic rhythm of creation, preservation, and dissolution. Living inside one wouldn't be absurd, it would be another step in the eternal cycle. Buddhism, too, might interpret the black hole as symbolic, the singularity as ultimate emptiness, shunyata, where illusions dissolve. Just as the physical world seems real but is transient, the black hole metaphor aligns with the idea that ultimate reality lies beyond perception. So, rather than undermining spirituality, the black hole universe could give faiths new metaphors to explain old truths. Science and spirituality may not be enemies here. They might simply be speaking different languages about the same infinite mystery. If time and space distort inside a black hole, what does death even mean? Mortality, as humans understand it, is bound to time. We are born, we age, and we die. But inside a black hole, time is stretched and warped. From the outside observer, someone falling in seems frozen at the event horizon, never quite reaching the end. From the inside, however, time feels normal. This creates a paradox. Does death even occur in the way we think it does? One possibility is that mortality is not absolute, but relative. Our consciousness may end biologically, but if space-time itself loops or bends, there might be regions where traces of us, our information, our energy, continue indefinitely. In that sense, immortality is not the absence of death, but the transformation of it. Religions and philosophies remind us that meaning is not erased by cosmic strangeness, it is deepened by it. And the distortion of time and space inside a black hole doesn't destroy the idea of death, it reshapes it into something more mysterious and perhaps more hopeful than we've ever imagined. The question of consciousness has always been one of humanity's greatest mysteries. If we imagine ourselves existing within a black hole, this mystery only deepens. What is consciousness if the universe itself is an event horizon, a region where time, matter, and light behave in ways beyond ordinary comprehension? Consciousness, at its core, is awareness, the ability to experience, reflect, and imagine. Traditional science often connects consciousness to the brain's neurons firing in patterns, producing thoughts and emotions. But if we are indeed living inside a black hole, this physicalist model seems incomplete. After all, within extreme gravitational distortion, where even time and space bend, how can something as delicate as awareness persist? Some philosophers suggest that consciousness may not just be a byproduct of matter, but a fundamental aspect of reality itself. In this view, even if our physical world is trapped inside a gravitational prison, our awareness is part of a larger universal field. The black hole becomes not just a cosmic container, but a stage where consciousness plays out its drama. If this is true, our legacy as humans is not measured only in monuments, technologies, or civilizations, but in the transmission of ideas, values, and shared awareness. Legacy becomes less about survival of the body and more about influence, how our consciousness shapes the collective story. For example, even if humanity's physical trace is erased by cosmic forces, the patterns of thought, creativity, and empathy we generated may still echo in some form, whether through information encoded in the universe or through the ripples of consciousness itself. Inside a black hole, matter is destined to collapse, but consciousness may reveal itself as something resilient. It raises the provocative question, are we biological beings who happen to think, or are we consciousness temporarily inhabiting biology while the universe folds in on itself? This reframing shifts legacy from survival of the body to survival of awareness.
Hope versus nihilism. Inspiration or despair? The idea that we might already be inside a black hole can either fill us with dread or ignite a deeper sense of wonder. The emotional response depends on how we choose to interpret the implications. On one hand, the nihilistic view seems tempting. If everything around us is doomed to collapse into singularity, what is the point of striving, building, or dreaming? Black holes remind us of inevitability. Gravity wins in the end. Our civilizations, achievements, and even memories could vanish without leaving a trace. For many, this evokes despair, the sense that human effort is ultimately meaningless in the cosmic scale. But another interpretation offers hope, perhaps even liberation. If we are inside a black hole, then our very existence is already miraculous. Against overwhelming odds, life not only appeared, but developed intelligence, creativity, and the ability to ask such profound questions. Far from erasing meaning, the black hole perspective can intensify it. The fleeting nature of existence makes each choice, each act of kindness, each spark of curiosity infinitely valuable. Hope also emerges from recognizing our role as conscious participants in the universe.
We may not control gravity or singularity, but we control how we respond to them. Within the vast darkness, we generate light in the form of love, knowledge, and connection. Nihilism says nothing matters. Hope counters everything matters, precisely because it is temporary. Interestingly, both hope and nihilism stem from the same recognition of impermanence. Nihilism chooses surrender, while hope chooses creation. A person who accepts that the universe is collapsing might choose despair, or they might see it as a challenge to build meaning despite cosmic futility. This duality reflects the human condition itself. We stand between nothingness and possibility. When we bring legacy and hope together, a richer picture emerges. If consciousness is fundamental, then every thought and act resonates beyond physical survival. And if meaning is created rather than given, then living inside a black hole is not the end of our story. It is simply the stage where we write it. The black hole metaphor thus offers us a choice: succumb to nihilism and declare life meaningless, or embrace the fragility of existence as the very reason to love, to strive, and to create. In this light, hope is not naive optimism. It is defiance. It is humanity looking at the abyss and deciding to sing, to imagine, to reach out anyway. Perhaps this is our greatest legacy, not escaping the black hole, but insisting that even within it, we lived with awareness, with courage, and with meaning. So here we are, after traveling across theories of gravity, time, space, and human meaning, we've reached the end of our cosmic thought experiment. Are we already living inside a black hole? But the truth is, this doesn't feel like an ending at all. Instead, it feels like standing on the edge of a cliff, peering out into an infinite horizon of questions. Because if there's one thing science teaches us, it's that every answer only opens the door to 1,000 more mysteries. We started with the raw, mind-bending possibility that our entire universe might be contained inside a black hole, an idea that sounds like science fiction yet comes straight from serious astrophysics. We explored the what-ifs, the mechanics of singularities, the distortion of time and space, the strange behavior of light and matter at event horizons. We asked big questions about human existence and meaning. If we are inside something so vast and unknowable, does that make our lives small, or does it give them more depth than ever? We wrestled with free will versus determinism, wondering if the pull of cosmic laws mirrors the pull of destiny in our own choices. We dared to consider the illusion of reality, comparing our universe to a simulation, not unlike a cosmic dream running on rules we barely understand.
We turned to religion and spirituality, searching for interpretations that could give comfort or challenge our beliefs. We asked what mortality means if time itself bends. And finally, we confronted the paradox of human consciousness and legacy, how fragile yet resilient it is, how it may outlive even the stars if our understanding deepens. Through all of this, we balanced between hope and nihilism, between despair that we are tiny specks in an infinite void, and inspiration that even tiny specks can look up, ask questions, and imagine infinity. Now, you may be asking yourself, all right, this is fascinating, but why should I care if the universe is inside a black hole or not? Here's the answer. Because these questions shape the way we live. Think about it. When you wake up tomorrow, go to work, spend time with family, chase your dreams, your choices are fueled by the meaning you attach to life. If you believe everything is meaningless, you act one way. If you believe life is sacred, you act another way. The question of whether we're inside a black hole isn't just about physics. It's about perspective. If we are inside a black hole, then reality is stranger, bigger, and more mysterious than we ever imagined. That means your life is part of something profoundly extraordinary. And if we're not, if the black hole hypothesis turns out to be false, then we're still in a universe so beautiful and complex that it sparks these very conversations. Either way, you're living in a miracle. Here's a thought. Maybe the whole black hole idea is really just a mirror. When we study the universe, we're also studying ourselves. When we wonder if gravity controls everything, we're really asking how much control we have over our own lives. When we question the end of time, we're really wondering what happens to us when we die. When we ask if reality is an illusion, we're asking if the things we love, our families, our dreams, our fears, are truly real. The universe isn't just out there. It's inside us. Every atom in your body was born in the core of a star. Every thought in your mind is powered by the same physics that moves galaxies. So when we talk about black holes swallowing stars or event horizons trapping light, we're not just talking about astronomy. We're talking about what it means to be human in an unfathomable cosmos. Yes, black holes are terrifying. They're cosmic monsters, places where everything breaks down, where even light can't escape. Thinking we might be inside one sounds like the ultimate horror story. But what if it's not? What if it's actually inspiring? Because if we are living inside a black hole, then we've already done something miraculous. We've survived in the very belly of the universe's strangest phenomenon. We're not crushed. We're not destroyed. Instead, we're thriving. We've built civilizations, painted art, written poetry, and dared to look up at the night sky, asking the very question you're hearing now. Doesn't that mean life is stronger than even a black hole? So here's my challenge to you right now. Don't just treat this video as a wild theory you watch and forget. Treat it as a reminder. A reminder that life is precious, questions are powerful, and meaning isn't found, it's created. The next time you feel small or insignificant, remember you are part of a story that stretches beyond galaxies, beyond time itself. You are literally made of stardust, living in a universe that may be inside a black hole. And instead of crushing you, that idea can set you free.
Free to live bigger, to think deeper, to love harder, to create meaning even in the face of cosmic uncertainty. Now, here's where you come in. I don't want this to just be me talking to you. I want this to be us, a community of thinkers, dreamers, and explorers piecing together the puzzle of existence. So tell me, do you believe it's possible that we're inside a black hole? If yes, what does that mean for the way we live our lives? And if no, what do you think explains the mysteries of our universe better? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Trust me, this conversation is bigger than any one of us, and your voice matters. And if you want more deep dives into the strange, the mysterious, and the awe-inspiring side of science and philosophy, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next mind-bending episode. Because this is just the beginning. In the end, maybe the real question isn't whether we live inside a black hole. Maybe the real question is this: what will you do with the time you've been given in this universe, whatever it is? Because whether we're inside a black hole, a simulation, or an endless cosmos, one thing is certain: you are here, right now, alive, able to think and to wonder. That's the greatest miracle of all. So take that miracle, make it count. Until next time, keep asking the big questions, keep looking up, and never stop exploring the infinite.